78% of people live paycheck to paycheck, but it doesn't have to be you. Financial stability isn't optional anymore. It's survival. Rising expenses, unpredictable economies, and that constant background stress about money, the stuff that's keeping you up at night, it's exhausting. But here's the good news. With the right strategies, you can take control of your financial future. And it's simpler than most people think. Today, I'm breaking down 10 proven strategies to secure your financial stability and build peace of mind step by step. I've seen firsthand how applying even just a few of these strategies can transform financial chaos into confidence. Stick with me until the end, and you'll have a clear, actionable roadmap to financial stability, not theory, but real practical steps. We'll cover everything from budgeting, emergency funds, to investing, debt management, and yes, even retirement planning. So let's dive in. Number 1, budgeting. We all hate this word. It sounds so restrictive, but it's not about restrictions. It's about direction, conscious spending. Right now in my community, The Smell of Money, we're doing a 7-day challenge where we're thinking about what we are spending our money on. And it's awakening. Some of the ladies are finding they spend over $500 a week on lattes and trips to the grocery store for that milk and butter, and they come out with $50 more than what they needed. So tracking your expenses and knowing where your money is going gives every dollar a job. When you think about how do I want to spend my money and reverse engineer it, your money will always be spent exactly how you want it to be, because ultimately you are in charge of your money. Number 2, the big emergency fund. Aim for 3 to 6 months of expenses. Start small. Even $20 a week builds your safety net. And wait until we get to number 7. Most people skip this and it costs them thousands of dollars. And when you build up that emergency fund, put it in a high yield savings account like Bask or Discover. Earning 4% on your emergency saving is going to help it build that much faster. And what are those 3 to 6 months of expenses? Your needs and your wants. You want 3 to 6 months of your needs in that online savings account. Number 3, debt management. Using the snowball method is my favorite, but there's also the avalanche method. Whatever one you choose, you want to implement it and stick with it. So with the snowball method, you're going to take your lowest debt to your highest debt in order. You're going to pay your minimum payment on all of them. Your lowest debt, you're going to pay your minimum payment plus extra money. I recommend 20%, but whatever you can get. Maybe looking at your budget, cutting some expenses, and taking that extra money by canceling a subscription, not forever, just until you get out of debt, or picking up another job to start tackling that debt. Shoot for 20%, but start with whatever amount you can. Add that to the minimum payment. Once that debt is paid off, take that minimum payment plus that extra and roll it over to the next. Do this and you will be amazed how quickly your debt will disappear. My client Kate did this and was able to pay off $55,000 in less than 6 months. My client Lori did this and she was able to pay off $1,300 within 6 weeks. This is the exact method I used to pay off $100,000 in 6 months. It works. It's a proven strategy. The avalanche method is taking the highest interest to the lowest interest and paying it that way. Same method. Minimum payment plus that extra. Don't let the high interest debt eat your future. If you stopped and looked at your credit card bill and saw how much of your payment was going for interest, you're going to be motivated to tackle that debt and crush on debt. Number 4, investing. Money sitting in savings loses value over time. Let it grow. Start with index funds, retirement accounts. I recommend starting off with investments in a 401k, a Roth IRA, or equivalent. Setting up your future for retirement is building that nest egg, because do you really want to work forever? Probably not. But the Roth IRA, if you're in the United States, is my favorite way to. I helped my client, Nikki, set up her portfolio with a 401k, and we looked at, how are we going to diversify this? You basically take your age minus 100, and the difference is the risk factor. So if you're 50 minus 100, you want to go 50% risk. Think stocks. Look at the top 5 stocks. Look at companies that you invest in. Those are a good way to start thinking, I want to support that business. Number 5, diversifying your income. One paycheck is risky. Side hustles, passive income, freelancing, build extra streams to protect yourself. I have always had a full-time job and a side gig. Back in the 90s, I was working as an Avon independent rep, and I was working full-time and part-time as a receptionist. I was a bankruptcy paralegal. I had all these different jobs. So I've always had multiple income streams coming in. Affiliate marketing is one of my favorite ways to share products and services that I love, and you get something back for it. Number 6, retirement planning. Yes, start today. Automate those contributions and take advantage of employer matches. And if you're self-employed, treat your business like an employer-employee relationship, paying yourself first, offering yourself a retirement account and saying, okay, I'm going to take 10% or 5% of my profit, and I'm going to put it in a 401, an SEP equivalent for self-employed people. And this is going to be your best friend because you're going to invest it. It's going to ride on that market. It's a long-term goal. It's going to grow steady. And then we want to think about insurance. I know this is a touchy subject for some of you, and I'm an independent insurance broker. I specialize in health insurance for self-employed individuals, Medicare, health, dental, annuities, all of the things. It's not fun. We don't like to pay that bill, but it is protection. We want to think about health insurance. I hear it from so many of you. Oh, I don't ever get sick. I don't ever go to the doctors. I don't see paying $900 a month for health insurance. I get that. But if something happens, that bill is going to be costly. And yes, they do give you breaks if you don't have health insurance, but wouldn't you rather be protected? There's so many different options out there to get the affordable coverage that will protect you in case you need to be hospitalized, in case you get sick. Same thing with life insurance. GoFundMe is not a life insurance plan. Life insurance protects your loved ones when you pass away. You want to have adequate coverage for your family when you pass on. An emergency is exactly that. It's unexpected and it can wipe out years of progress. Even if you have enough assets to cover an emergency, do you really want to spend your money that way? And number 8, financial education. I hear so many people say that I'm financial illiterate. I don't understand this mumble jumble. When people start talking about finances and strategies and investments, my eyes just glaze over. I go off into another world. I totally get that. Read books, listen to podcasts. I Date Money podcast. This channel here, full of information. Talk to financial advisors. Ask ChatGPT to give you basic knowledge. Learn all the things about finances. The more you know, the better your decisions. Number 9, I think people tend to forget and just kind of leave leave on the side is adjust and review. Once you create a budget, it's not set it and forget it. Your expenses are going to fluctuate. Your income may fluctuate, especially if you're working on commissions like myself, but things change. Obviously, we know there's cost of living. So you want to evaluate it. I recommend doing it once a quarter and looking at things and making sure that you have adequate amount of money set aside for your needs, and that your wants, what are your desires? Like setting up the goals for like vacation, remodels, maybe you need a new vehicle. Plan on that. And when you create money and set it aside, I have a client in the Smell of Money that set up 2 bank accounts, one for remodeling and another one for travel. And she was so excited to have a plan in place. And remember, these aren't set in stone. You want to review it. You want to adapt it and make the changes. As you grow, as your finances change, your desires are going to change. And that's what true financial freedom is all about. And then the last one is your mindset, rewriting your money story, how you see money as a tool, not as a stressor. What do you think about money? Money is energy. That's why it's currency. It's energy. It's a tool that we get to use, and money in the hands of good people does amazing things. It's not here to serve you nor control you. You get to decide how you spend your money. And when you think about it, I remember one of my clients, when she first started working with me, she convinced herself that she could not save money. And I said, well, where does this come from? Her mom told her when she was growing up that she was not good at saving money and therefore she would never have any money. So that's what she believed. So I gave her the challenge to save 10% of all the income she received in 1 month. By the end of that month, she had saved $3,000 and she was shocked. And then she was worried she couldn't hold on to it. So I said, okay, well, let's Let's invest it. Let's strategically invest it in a way that you're comfortable. So we put it in a certificate deposit for 3 months that was earning at that time 4.5% interest. And at the end of the 3 months, when it was time for it to mature, she had increased her $3,000. And when she decided to, okay, what's the next step? What should I do this? Should I reinvest in that CD? Should I earmark it for something? And she decided to split the money and keep some in for travel and then reinvest in another certificate deposit. So as your money multiplies, as you create that financial stability, understanding that it's not a finish line, it's a lifestyle. You start with one strategy this week, build momentum, and watch how quickly things shift. So if you found this helpful, subscribe for more simple, actionable financial strategies. And I'm curious, which of these 10 strategies are you starting today? Comment below and I'll reply with a resource recommendation based on your strategy. And remember, it doesn't matter how much money you have, it's what you do with it.